It's time for Let's Get Digital Treasure Coast with digital marketing experts Megan Nager and Corey Turner. Let's Get Digital Friday, marketing for the modern age. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to another episode.
Welcome. This is Let's Get Digital, and I am your host, Megan Nager.
And I am Corey Turner.
And welcome to Let's Get Digital. Digital.
Yes,
digital.
Let's get digital.
It's been a long week.
Digital. Yeah.
I hope that everyone has stayed safe during Hurricane Ian and are doing okay. Yeah, I feel like this area didn't get that much damage. I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, if you're watching from or listening from a different area, we are in Florida, so that's what.
That's what we're talking about. Hurricane Ian.
Yeah.
We got lots of people staying with us from the west coast of Florida.
Mm-hmm. We
was
are
not
saving
okay.
lives.
Yes, we are. Okay, so if this is your first time tuning in, Corey and I are the owners of Wake and Make Media, a full-scale digital marketing agency and production house that specializes in creating high-quality digital content. And that sounds like a mouthful. So simply put, we make really great video content for brands and businesses that drives in customers. And I note this at the top of every episode, but I want to remind you that when we do refer to digital content, we mean pictures, videos, blogs, graphics, etc. that you post on your social media, your website, landing page, emails, etc. So any content that lives online, we specialize in.
Yes.
And for the past few weeks, we've been covering different aspects of marketing and giving you tips and tricks that can be implemented today or very quickly on your own. And again, you can always hire us if there's something more complicated you want to do.
Reach out at wakeandmakemedia.com.
There you go.
That's us. That's our website.
And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you can become an expert in your field today simply by creating digital content for a YouTube channel. And if you missed our last episodes and you'd like to hear or watch them, we have got you covered. All you got to do is head to YouTube and type in Let's Get Digital or search for Let's Get Digital wherever you listen to your podcasts. And in our past episode, we talked about the importance of social media, especially if you own a brand or business. And I would suggest going back and listening to those episodes because we break down each social media app and how to get started posting on all of them. And again, this is all super important. It's 2022, and I guarantee that at least one of your competitors is on social media. So if you're not on, you are missing out on clients and money.
Get on those free eyeballs, those free platforms where you can show off all your fun stuff that goes with your brand or business.
Yes, and again, they are free, like Corey said, unless you start paying for ads, which we'll do a whole other episode on ads. And you can always, I would suggest getting someone to help you run ads on social media if you haven't done it before, because it can get confusing. So when we did cover social media, we spoke about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, etc. And I do believe we mentioned creating content for YouTube Shorts, which is basically, it's very new. It's short form content that you can put on YouTube, 60-second videos, and their algorithm is ranking stuff really high. So I posted a goofy video I made years ago on a YouTube short the other day, and I don't have that many followers on YouTube, and it has like 50,000 views. So
it's crazy what shorts are doing right now. It's basically just the platforms like doing the same thing and using their might, their strength to kind of overtake each other. So like TikTok started, and then Instagram started with Reels, which is the same thing, and now YouTube's doing Shorts. They're all the exact same thing, but they're trying to grab the content creators by offering more views, more likes, more money, all that stuff. Actually, YouTube last week announced that they're going to start monetizing YouTube Shorts so people can make money off submitting YouTube Shorts.
Yep. It's basically all of these apps are really favoring video, which is what we specialize in. So again, if you want to get started creating content online, don't know where to get started, hit us up. But they
wakeandmakemedia.com.
wakeandmakemedia.com. But they really are favoring video so much that they all just keep competing with each other. Instagram has Reels, like Corey said. TikTok was really blowing up about even 6 months ago. I think you could reach a lot of people on TikTok. It's definitely slowed down because so many people are on it. And so the next thing now is YouTube Shorts. That's getting a ton of views because there's not as many people on it as there are like creating content as there are people consuming content. And that majorly favors the content creator. But I kind of digress. So the point of today's episode is that we're going to focus mainly on YouTube and how you can get started creating content on YouTube today. And I'd say the biggest benefit of creating content for YouTube and for any social media platform, to be honest, is that you will become an expert in your field and build content authority. And Corey is going to tell you what content authority is.
Absolutely. So what we have been talking about a lot recently is like short form vertical content, like where that's how you get all the views and all the fun stuff. And it's quick and easy and everything like that. But what we're going to be talking about today is long form horizontal content. So that's like, your traditional YouTube. So it's like widescreen like you'd see on a YouTube or TV or something like that. And this is a little longer form, and this is kind of like the old school way of doing YouTube, which, old school, it's only like a few years old or, 10 years old maybe. But it's essentially what authority means is you are the expert in that subject. And so you are the person who people go to learn about something. So this could be in any niche, like your business, any specific location. So you could be the Martin County lawnscaping expert. And it really can be that specific. And people, everybody who's growing grass in Martin County might look up might type that into a Google search, how to grow my grass in Martin County, and boom, you'll be on top. And you'll be the one teaching them with a video that you made, and you'll be the one that they go to when they have questions or anything like that. And you know what that means? That means leads and business conversions, because you are the expert, so they go to you, and it doesn't matter what you charge because you're the expert. You're probably the best at it. You'll fix their grass better than anybody. And this is all generated by that YouTube video that you made explaining how to do something. So, they're building a relationship with you for a video you made. They're building a relationship with you. You don't even meet them yet, and they're already ready to go, ready to give you their money, ready to have you work on their landscaping.
Yes. Yeah. So basically the formal definition of content authority, it's basically lets people know that you've been creating content in your field or niche for a while and that you know what you're talking about, like Corey said. And in turn, people who see your videos are going to seek out your advice, subscribe to your channel, and buy your services or products. So for example, Corey gave the lawn mowing example. There's tons of people on YouTube who, like filmmakers, I know we both watch, who have been making videos for 10 years, and now a lot of them they've started selling courses, and we have bought their courses because we're like, hey, we know these guys know what they're doing. I trust them. They've been making videos giving us free advice for a decade, and so why not buy their $150 course to teach you to become a better filmmaker? You know what I mean? So that's one example, but you really, like, I have seen every type of industry on YouTube. I've seen preschool teachers make YouTube videos, real estate agents, lawnmowers, glass blowers. Like, it doesn't matter what field or niche you're in, you can do this. All you have to do is just get started. That's as simple as it is.
Yeah, essentially the idea here is to offer some free, valuable information, and then down the road build that relationship with them online. And then that turns into conversions because of the trust you've built through giving them that valuable free information.
Exactly. And again, content authority establishes you as the go-to provider of quality content, guidance, and information in your industry or niche. And videos with a high frequency of traffic over several months or years tend to rank really high on Google, and in turn put more eyes onto your content. So again, say you're really struggling to get business for your lawn chair shop, whatever that is, outdoor patio furniture. Hop online, take your phone, prop it up on something. We're going to go over very simple techniques to film yourself, but Basically, you just want light in front of you, not behind you. Very quick tip. Prop your phone up on something, start talking about what you know. Literally, it's that simple. And at first, you might think like, no one cares about what I'm talking about. Who's going to watch this? I promise you there is somebody who will be interested. It's just a matter of keeping it going. And you don't become an expert in anything, even if take out the fact that you're posting on social media. Nobody becomes an expert overnight. So it takes time, but you just have to keep putting out content.
Real quick, an example of that, of you thinking probably that nobody cares about what you're doing. We just recently purchased a house, and it was the first house where I had to figure out how to water our lawn. And so I looked that up on YouTube, and there was this guy with 20 million views that he clearly just shot this on his phone, and he was in like Minnesota, and he was teaching people how to water their grass, and he owns a landscaping company. And I bet you a lot of people, 20 million, 10 million views or whatever he had, a lot of people who are local to him probably, or not local, emailed him looking, hey, can you just take care of my grass for me?
Literally.
Yeah.
Same thing with one more example. I am like a comedian, actor. I did stand up in LA for 10 years, and I love creating comedic characters and I create sketch comedy videos for online. And I made a video probably 6 years ago. I had makeup smeared all over my face. I shot it on my phone. Honestly, I don't know why I put that video online, because I looked drunk in it. I wasn't drunk, but it was just a disaster. But I gave 5 tips to create a comedic character. That is the highest viewed video I have. And I have people from all over the world who will reach out to me and message me because of that video, asking me for tips and how they could work with me to create comedic characters. I literally got another message last week from it, and I made that video years ago. So it pays off. Just keep going. And to encourage you guys, we're going to give you 8 simple steps of how you can begin building content authority for yourself and in turn become an expert in your field online, all while making money. So these steps are what's worked for us, and I think could be really helpful for when you get started. So first of all, you need to have a clear vision and niche, which sounds obvious, but if you are like, hey, I really want to start a brand or business, or even take that out, I really just want to start a YouTube channel, you need to know what you're going to talk about. At least some sort of subject that will be consistent. If you're just doing it to do it and you're posting, one day you're posting, promoting like, I don't know, just random things that aren't going to make sense. They're not in the same industry. They're not in the same topic. It's going to be a lot harder for you to grow. So if you want to establish yourself as an expert in lawn chairs, for instance, you should be making videos about lawn chairs.
Yeah,
not about like ice cream one day and then a lawn chair one day and then like how you love traveling the other day.
yeah, exactly. Because your audience is going to be confused. They're not going to go. It's not like an entertainment channel more. We're more on the lines of like an informational channel. So people want to go there because they want to learn about lawn chairs.
And you can do an entertainment channel. I have an entertainment channel, and it's all over the place. And sometimes it's frustrating because my stuff is all over the place. I think it's been harder for me to grow because I have a wide range of topics.
People are even commenting, all right? They're like, "What? Why are you giving us the news? This is a comedy channel."
Yeah,
people actually comment that. So we're not just pulling this out of our hats.
We've experimented on ourselves, so we know it works. It doesn't. And for the YouTube, what I'll say really quickly is if you do want to say you own a business and you want to create really professional videos that give advice, and you also have a love for comedy on the side and you want to do comedic videos, you can always separate your videos into playlists on YouTube, which I would suggest doing if you have videos that are very different from one another. So you could do like business playlist, fun playlist, but travel, exactly. But all the videos in each playlist should be in the same industry or niche, or you're really going to lose people. Yeah.
Yes.
And again, if you do have a clear vision It's going to help you create relevant content, attract the right followers, and grow an engaged community. And a good thing, if you ever get lost down the road, just remember why you're doing it. So you've been creating videos about lawn chairs and you're on your 10th one, you're not getting that many views. You want to start now making videos. Maybe you're like, I'm going to become an expert in ice cream making. So you start making videos on ice cream. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would just suggest sticking to it, and remember why you were doing it in the first place, which was to become an authority in lawn chairs. So remind yourself of that when you start wanting to create a bunch of other videos.
Yeah. And I mean, you could always make another channel.
And that too. Exactly.
You want to do other stuff?
You can make another channel.
You know, it's just like separating your business and your personal life, right? It's just the online YouTube version of that.
Very true. Okay, and I have a tip. So when you're brainstorming your vision, you're starting from the ground zero. You should ask yourself, what are my passions and skills? What am I knowledgeable about? And if I wasn't getting paid, would I still enjoy creating this content? Which I think is really important, because if you hate making it and you make like 5 videos and haven't seen that many views, it's going to be really hard to keep going if you don't love what you're doing, because you're going to get discouraged even faster.
Yeah, if it feels like work, it's going to turn into work.
Yes. And to get started, again with the lawn chair example, if you have no idea where to begin with making videos, I would suggest writing a list of just starting maybe even 5 or 10 ideas, where lawn chairs are made, how you can make your own lawn chair.
I feel like we should start a lawn chair business with all these marketing tips.
Yeah, this is like,
chairs.
I don't know why lawn chairs.
This is not the first time you brought up lawn chairs.
It's very random. But like 10 different things about lawn chairs you would want to talk about. They can be 2 to however many minutes, really. And start with those ideas. And I think you'll start coming up with more once you start talking about one thing. I think ideas usually start flowing from there.
Yeah, and another way, and we're going to touch this on the next category, but just kind of like research your competitors and see what they're doing, and that'll give you some ideas. You know, we said this before in social media, but just like type in your industry and see what other people are making, and then put your spin on it.
That's also very, very helpful. I would definitely do that before you get started, which brings us to number 2, which is basically the same, but it's study your industry's audience. So I think along with that is definitely look at what your competitors are doing, but see what people in that industry are doing. Like, for instance, if you go on all social media, there's always big like fitness communities. So go on YouTube, type in like fitness workout videos. You will see so many that come up. You'll see how they're filmed. You'll see how the people are talking in them, what they're wearing, and you'll get a good idea of how to start forming your videos from there. And the main goal of doing all of this is to connect with audiences and create content that resonates with their interests, because if they are resonating with what you're saying, they're more likely to trust you and in turn more likely to buy from you.
Think about this as the video version of SEO. So SEO, search engine optimization, is writing like content for keywords and, you know, trying to be caught in a search. Well, Google, which is the biggest search engine, obviously, also owns YouTube. So when you search for something and there's a video of that, Google is going to put that on top, and that's going to put your YouTube video on top. So, you know, if you write how do I water my grass in Martin County, and you made a video about that, that's going to trump all of the content blogs about that, because, you know, Google knows people like videos more.
Total. That's exactly why you should also be making video. Like, again, if you hate being on camera, that's fine. You could literally even just use your voice. You can just do a blog on your website, which is better than nothing. But again, highly suggest video.
Absolutely.
So it's impossible to like know what to do if you have no idea who your audience is or what they want. So spending time researching your industry's audience and learning more about them helps you create better, more efficient content. And it's helpful to ask questions like, what are the demographics of the audience? For instance, age, gender, race, job title, location. What do they do in their spare time? What interests do they have? What experience do they have with digital technology? Where do they spend their time online? Like, you could ask yourself a million questions, but once you start learning that, you can start crafting content for those people. It'll be a lot more clear. And I'm not saying to create content only for other people, because you obviously you have to enjoy it too, but it'll help you make something that's more in line with what people actually want to consume. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, and there's apps to help you with this. Like there's something called TubeBuddy.
Oh yeah.
Where it'll help you kind of find like the interesting topics that keep popping up on YouTube searches, and what kind of ideas are really popular right now. It'll help you find those things. Just do the research for you.
TubeBuddy, thank you. I'm happy you said that. Is that free? They have a free version, right?
I don't think anymore, but it's like $3 or $4 a month. It's
okay.
cheap.
It's cheap. It used to be free when I first got on YouTube. It was, but it's worth it, especially if you're just starting. You can always cancel it, but just to come up with trending topics, because you can search on Google and see Google or YouTube and see what other people are doing. But this literally, you can't really have access to the information unless you pay for it, because it goes in the back end and is showing you really what's doing better or doing the best online.
Yeah, you can do it the manual way, or you can just do it the quick way.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker.
Spend $3.
Yeah. Okay, so number 3, we keep saying this, but stay consistent. Content creation is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't give up, and keep posting. I have been posting content for 10 years. And sometimes I get constantly, and sometimes I get frustrated, and other times I don't, and I really like just doing it. So that's what keeps me going. If I based all of me creating content on how much money I was making, I would have stopped a long time ago. So again, that's why it's important to really basically make sure you are creating content about something you are interested in.
Absolutely. If we had a show, our radio show was about dog training or something like that.
About what?
Dog training?
Oh, I thought you said tog training. I was like, what's a tog?
If it was about dog training too,
I was like, that.
I wouldn't know much to say about it. So I'd say after the first 15 minutes of the first episode, it would just feel like work, because I'd be honestly just making things up or constantly researching things just to say. So luckily we're pretty interested in marketing, digital marketing, and so we're able to talk about it for episodes and episodes.
Exactly, and we will be right back for Let's Get Digital.
We got more tips on the way.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Let's Get Digital. If you are tuning in for the very first time, I am Megan Nager.
And I'm Corey Turner, and we are with Wake and Make Media, wakeandmakemedia.com.
Yes, we are a marketing agency production house, and we specialize in creating high-quality digital content. And today we are talking about the benefit of creating YouTube videos and becoming an expert in your field. And essentially, we've been talking about ways to get started creating YouTube videos, because if you become an expert in your field, you are much more likely to attract a slew of customers. And it may take a little bit of time, but it will pay off. And we were just saying how important it is to stay consistent, and that content creation is a marathon, not a sprint. So don't give up and keep posting. And if you are posting about something you're not interested in, it's going to be a lot harder for you to stay consistent than if you're posting about something you love. So another tip to remember when you're creating content for YouTube, really for any social media platform, is to engage with your community. And literally, even if you have like 50 subscribers, 50 followers,
your digital community.
Your digital community. Excuse me.
Your followers, your people that you collaborate with, that community.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can. So yes, this digital community, you can still have, even say there's 40 of you, which I mean even less, 10. You could still have a super engaged, supportive, and monetizable community. There's things called micro influencers, really, that are influencers for social media that have maybe 1,000 followers, and they'll get paid by brands and businesses to promote their things. They'll get paid by one girl I follow is a travel blogger. She only has about 1,500 subscribers. She gets paid by hotels to go stay and write a review of their hotel. So it's not like you need to have 1 million followers today to build a community and get business.
Totally. And coming from a different side in this, I have a unique angle because not only we are content creators, but I'm also a CMO of a company, and I set up I guess I purchased those times from micro influencers, like their time on their avenues, their platforms. So what I typically look for when I'm doing that is micro influencers with engaged communities, because people with 10 million followers really don't have engaged communities because they're so wide, but people with 10,000 or 5,000 really do. Those people really care about them because they're so niche down and they're so specific, and that's who I'd rather give the company's money to, doing advertising on their platform rather than these big things that aren't going to go to the people that we want.
Totally. So, and a lot of brands and businesses, like when searching for influencers, like Corey said, will look way more at engagement versus your following, because a lot of people, this was bigger like probably 5-10 years ago, but people were buying social media followers, and then they were having basically all these bots were their followers. And so when people went to want to advertise with them, they'd get no return because they weren't real people in this community. So again, it's way more important to have a small engaged community than a massive non-engaged community online. And so just make sure that if people comment on your videos, especially in the beginning when you're really getting started, people comment, if people message you, just interact with them. Don't fully ignore it. It just won't. People aren't going to want to stick around because they want to feel some sort of connection with you. And if they keep commenting and you're ignoring them, especially when you don't have that many followers, you're probably going to lose them at some point.
Yeah, and that's the difference between YouTube and like NBC, or like a network television show. Like people can't really comment on these these big shows, and if they did, and if they thought they were going to get an answer, they're definitely not. But with like a YouTube community, it's like a person on the other end, so it's like a person-to-person kind of peer-to-peer thing. That's how the engagement and that's how the community is formed.
Absolutely.
It's possible.
Totally.
Yeah.
So number 5 is, this is really important. Basically, create an efficient workflow and system for posting and creating content. So creating content, especially if you really want to start doing it consistently, say you're like, okay, I'm going to post content 5 times a week. It can be a lot. And so there are ways to batch content or space out content, pre-record content, and then basically have it automated so it will post for you, because it can get overwhelming and it's hard to keep doing that every single day. You're much more likely to stay consistent if you have some sort of workflow or system in place, so you know how to keep going, especially if you're traveling or you get sick or, there's all these things that come up in life and it could throw you off from creating content. For instance, Corey knows, so we've both worked with a lot of different apps that will help you automate your content posting. There's just a few. Hootsuite I used to use years ago. That's HOOTSUITE. They used to have a free version. They may not anymore. I haven't used it in a few years, to be honest. An app called Later, or it's a program. Both of them, basically you can go in and like post your content on that platform in advance, and you can set an exact time and date for it to then post on social media for you. So you could be asleep and it could post for you at 3 a.m. if you want on a Tuesday. It just makes it a lot easier and helps you plan things in advance.
Absolutely. And so this is a big part of my everyday, because one of our clients is a fitness brand, and I run their organic content. So basically there's 4 videos every week. There's 2 cooking videos, a workout video, and like a fitness advice video that come out every single week on the exact same day, the exact same time. There's also 10 to 20 organic TikTok, Facebook, Instagram posts that go out. And there's no way in heck we could ever do this make them and then post them right away. So what we do is we do it in batches. So we'll film like 6 or 7 episodes in the same day, and we'll just change clothes. We'll film them, and we'll have the idea, and then we'll take 10 seconds, break, and film another one, and then we'll edit them. Editing takes a lot more time than filming, so we'll edit them, put them in a queue, put them in like later.com, and have it set to post on the certain time. So we spread that out. So we film 6 at a time, we edit, 3 a week, and then they post 1 a week. So we always have a backlog in case someone gets sick, or in case we get writer's block, or anything could possibly come up with the fitness video. Someone could get hurt, anything like that. So we have months of backlogs of these. And one trick to stick to is to make your content evergreen. So don't specifically say, hey, it's September 29th and it's Wednesday and this movie just came out today. Like, don't say things like that. Just keep it vague and say hi. Like, if it's not live, it's going to be dated. So, a trick to that is just to not say specifics and just go like it's any day. Like, you could be filming in September and someone could be watching this in January of 2026. Like, it doesn't keep it evergreen. Don't say specifics, and that will keep the illusion that you're making these every week and you're doing videos right as you're uploading them.
Yeah, absolutely. Evergreen is a great word. It's basically, it's just like you don't run out of stuff pretty much. It's like you could constantly think of stuff. Another great tip to use is content batching, which I guess you kind of just said this, but content batching is essentially the process of creating similar sorts of content that require the same system, program, process, etc., all in one sit. So you could film and it basically makes it easier to be consistent with your content. So say Corey's been doing it with this. So we film this radio show and we also make it into a podcast. It's about an hour long and we have video cameras running right now. So Corey will take that content and edit that hour-long piece into 10 different small pieces of content. So think of that. For one single video, we've gotten, we could even do more than 10 pieces. There could be 20 pieces of 60-second content. That's about 20 different either YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok videos. You could post them on both. And that's literally, we just sat down and filmed for 1 hour, and you literally could have 20 days of content from just 1 hour. Mm-hmm. So that's a really easy way to create a lot of content at once, especially if you know you have an unpredictable schedule or you're not going to stick to something. It's really easy, and after experimenting with many different ways to create content, I've noticed that it's definitely the most helpful. Another thing to do is to create and organize a content calendar. I really like doing this. So I'll do this for brands or businesses that want to work with us. After making them a brand guide, which has their like colors, logo, fonts, etc., I will create a content calendar for them to start posting. So for instance, one client was a baker in Indianapolis, and she wanted 30 days of unique content to post on her Instagram. And I've done everything from just give her ideas, literally write down the ideas, to literally physically making the content for her. And I take a digital calendar, and every single day I write what she's going to post. And if it includes the physical post, I'll also put those in there. And it just gives you a really easy way to know what you're going to post in advance, especially if you have a lot of like artists or designers will do this, fashion bloggers, because they have a very specific look they're going for, especially on Instagram. That tends to be a bit more focused on pictures. They're trying to focus more on video right now, but people still use it as like almost like a portfolio. And they want all their colors to be consistent. They want like a certain flow of their pictures. So those people will definitely use a content calendar to know exactly what they're posting every single day. You don't have to do this. It's just very helpful.
Yeah, it's called your grid, right?
A grid?
Yeah, isn't that what it's called when you see all your pictures on Instagram at the same time?
Oh yeah, and
Your
there's
grid, right?
yeah, and there's apps that you could literally see.
Yeah, you can customize your grid and make it look like you want it to look, and then post in this order. So we do this a couple times, and I'm sure people have seen this before. But you take a big picture like a logo or something like that, and you cut it into 9 pieces, and then you could load the grid, make sure you do it in the right order, and then post in that order so the 9 pictures become one big picture.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what that's called, but it looks cool.
It's yeah, that used to be bigger a few years ago. There's an app that will do it for you. Your followers usually get really annoyed because
don't do it often. Yeah.
because you're posting like one post will just be like the corner of like a big picture, and then the second post will be the middle of it, and you're just kind of spamming your followers. So it looks cool. If you are going to do that, I would just suggest doing it one time. If you don't know what we're talking about, that's also okay.
We typically do it for the logo of the company right when we launch their Instagram, so they don't have followers yet. But
yeah,
I agree. Don't do it in the middle.
Exactly. If you don't have a lot of followers, it's okay. Okay. Number 7, this is pretty standard and obvious, but keep learning and growing. Sometimes content changes over time, and that's okay. We've made so many different types of content over the years based on, we see what works, what doesn't work, what we like doing, what we don't like doing, what our customers like, what they don't like. So, yeah.
I mean, you got to be in the middle of it to really keep up to date with everything that's coming out. For example, my previous life, I was an accountant, and I did filmmaking like on nights and weekends and everything like that. I wasn't really into the marketing aspect, and it was so hard to keep up with. Even though I was kind of into it, it was so hard. I'm like, oh, there's a new Instagram thing, there's the IGTV, all this stuff's coming out. How would anyone understand all these things at the same time? But now that Megan and I are deep into this, this is our life, we are able to keep up with these things, and it is even quickly for us. It's like if you would have told me YouTube Shorts was a thing 2 months ago, I'd be like, yeah, right, YouTube, that's going to bust. And then you kind of try it out, and you put the same videos you put on TikTok, and then they blow up bigger than TikTok. You're like, oh, this is the real deal. This is a way to reach a huge audience. And now, I mean, look at that. We're advising our clients to make YouTube Shorts because it is so quickly changing. And so the only way to really keep up to date with it is to constantly be, like Megan said, learning and growing and making that content, trying out new things, and keeping up to date with everything. And also, hiring great digital marketers like Megan and I have at wakeandmakemedia.com.
Yes. And a reminder too, for when you're creating content, you're experimenting, you're growing, that just not always like what you think has value is going to work. It's basically about what your community values. So it's important to ask yourself what's in it for them. And like at the end of the day, sadly, most people think, what's in this for me? So when they're looking at what you or what anyone else is providing, that's what they're going to think of. And so it's important to try to consider it from their perspective. If there is no clear benefit for them, they're most likely not going to waste their time, because there's a ton of other options out there that are competing for time and attention. So that's why it is crucial for you to make content that will provide value to your audience. And a great way to do this, we've mentioned this, is to just inform people, to teach them something. Even if it seems very obvious to you, it's probably not obvious to everyone. Like, I think talking about marketing tips sometimes, I'm like, everyone knows this. Why do we need to sit here and talk about social media? But a lot of people don't. So, I mean, I have to remind myself of that too. So again, always, always, always in each piece of content, think before you post, what is this providing everyone else? Even if I post a goofy video, I usually will ask myself, what is this doing besides giving me an ego boost or hurting my ego if it doesn't get any likes? But really, like, it's providing entertainment, it's making people laugh. Great, that's fine. Whatever it is, just make sure it's doing it and it's not just benefiting you. because people aren't going to keep engaging with it.
And that kind of brings us full circle with being an authority is providing content that people are going to engage with, people are going to learn from you because you did the effort to not only research, not only be an expert in this, but take the time to film this, put it on YouTube, and that's how you're going to grow as an authority, and become the expert that also is going to eventually drive conversions for you.
Absolutely. And the last tip is be social and network. We talked about engaging with your community, but another really great thing that comes out of posting on social media is you can connect with like-minded, non-like-minded people. You could connect with other experts or influencers in your industry and team up and work with them. You could bring each other work. You could promote each other. There's a ton to do. A good example of this is when we lived in Los Angeles, when I was first starting to create comedy videos, I would spend hours messaging other content creators who had bigger followings than me. And 3/4 of the time they didn't answer, and 1/4 of the time they did. And I would then go and film with those people and then, meet their friends and film with them. And it opened up this huge community of people. And some of my best friends today are people who I literally met on social media from creating comedy videos, because we all have similar interests. We were all posting similar content. And instead of looking at it as competition, you should look at it as a positive thing, because no one, even if you are in the same niche, no one's going to be exactly the same. So say you're both in the lawn chair niche, back to that, it's okay, because you as a lawn chair salesperson are going to inherently be different than the lawn chair salesman person who lives down the street. You're just going to be different. And so again, it's important to also why it's important to define your niche and know exactly what benefits you provide that other people in your industry wouldn't. But you can network with them and you guys can help each other grow. It doesn't need to be a competition.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, collaborating with like-minded people is such a great way to grow that community too, because, you could take both your audiences and mash them together and make a mega audience, Yeah, like what we're doing right now with, I love food. I think a lot of people love food. So I found this guy on Instagram locally. He runs Stuart Foodie is his Instagram. Check it out if you like food, especially if you like to eat food around here. And he just has great recommendations, but I noticed that he was clearly taking pictures with his phone and he didn't have any videos. So I just hit him up on Instagram and I said, hey man, I'm a filmmaker and I love what you're doing. Maybe we could collaborate and make a video together and then post it on both of our social medias. And he was super nice, super down. And so we made it together. We made a video and we're going to make a lot more. And the first video did really well. And I think, as we continue to launch these videos and, we'll have fun, we'll have fun. First of all, that's the most important thing. Second of all, we'll make a good business out of it by going around to the restaurants and giving them marketing.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's just, there's so many benefits that could come out of creating content in your industry, whatever you're passionate about, and then turning it into business. People have gone on who started with a very small following, have gone on to write books, to give lectures all over the world. I've seen it with so many different content creators and business owners in so many different industries. So I highly suggest getting started today. Corey, if you were to have people get started creating a YouTube video today, what are some very quick filming techniques they could use? We did mention that if you are going to film yourself on your phone, most people have smartphones today that do a pretty good job if you don't have access to a professional camera, which most people don't. I said just make sure light is in front of you when you're filming, not behind you, because you're going to look really dark. But yeah, Corey, is there anything else you would recommend, even in terms of sound, if you're worried about how sound's going to
Absolutely, yeah. No,
Sound.
so I would say sound is more important than video for this because you're giving information, so the information has to be heard, clearly. Where the video could be kind of shoddy, not so great. But if you have great video and the audio is bad, and no one's going to be able to hear the information that you're giving out, and you just kind of wasted your time. So I would say technique would be to, if you don't have a microphone, to get relatively close to your phone, so you're close to the microphones on your phone that are picking it up, so they'll be more clear. Even better than that would be to get a microphone. They have several kinds of microphones, like ones that clip on your lapel, ones that you can have in front of us like we do right now at the radio station, that all plug into your phone, whether you have a Samsung phone or, an Android phone or an iPhone. They just go right in there, plug and play, ready to go, and get that crisp audio, which is super important. I would say next would be, lighting is huge to make the video look better. If you have good lighting with an iPhone, it's going to look better than bad lighting with a $100,000 camera. So if you can get something like a ring light or, like a small softbox or something like that, they sell them on Amazon. They're not perfect, but at least they bring up the luminance value on your face, which just means that you're brighter and we could see you. If you don't want to get a light, then windows are great with a white sheet over it or something that's translucent that will, diffuse the hard sunlight. If you could just sit in front of that, that'll look good too. That'll be nice soft light. Hard light, directly from the sun, is going to give you some shadows that aren't as flattering as you want. So I would say stay away from hard light, like outside in the middle of the day is not going to look too good, but sunrise and sunset outside does look fantastic. So you could use these small techniques to just kind of upgrade your setup. And this is all still with a cell phone, using that camera on your phone to film. One thing with these longer form videos that we're talking about right now, where you gain authority and you put them on YouTube, and they're kind of like a keyword dump, almost not dump, but like keyword video. Yeah. Is you want to shoot this like horizontal, so not vertical like you do with your TikToks and your Instagram Reels. This is a horizontal video, and it's going to be longer, so people are going to be watching this on on a TV.
These are the YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So yeah, YouTube Shorts we've mentioned are vertical, and that's like most other social media platforms. When you're doing a traditional YouTube video, definitely make sure it's horizontal. I've done them vertical. They just don't get as many views because, one, it doesn't look good, and two, I think people are probably like, I don't want to watch a tiny little piece of a screen when I have this big full image.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can do a vertical video on YouTube. Oh, do they put the black bars on the side?
Yeah, black is all
the okay, so if it's over a minute, they just put black bars, which, okay, come on. Obviously, that doesn't look very good.
It doesn't look good, yeah.
So, yeah, you want to do that. You want to fill the screen, shoot that horizontally, and then so people can watch it on their TV, on their full screen on their computer. These are the kind of videos we're talking about here. And so once you made the video, like we said, you can batch make videos. You can make 6 at the same time and then release them days apart or even weeks apart. And then you have a good content library built up. Do make a thumbnail that is, going to grab an audience. So a thumbnail is the little image that someone would see before they click on the video. So it's like almost like a preview of the video, but you can design it however you want, and you could add like, big letters or like funny images or something like that. So it's almost like something, it's called clickbait, where you are baiting someone to click there so they can watch the video and enjoy it. Spend a little bit of time making a nice thumbnail, and then also spend some time adding those keywords to the title of your video that people are going to search. So the video title doesn't have to be the same as the title on the thumbnail. You can put something like a sentence like best ways to mow your grass in Martin County could be your title, because that's what people are going to search. That's what's going to come up in the search. And then on your thumbnail, you're like, my grass is huge or something like that, and that's like the title of the video really that people are going to see, but the actual text title that you put in is what people are going to search. And then you can also put in hashtags, just like any other social media. You can put in hashtags that will come up when people search, so like landscaping, lawn mowing, Martin County, those kind of things.
Think of stuff you would search for if you were searching for, hey, I really need landscaping advice and I live in Martin County.
Yeah.
Like, that's how simple it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing I'd like to say before we wrap up is that we ended by saying basically one of the last and most important tips to take into consideration is to be social and network with, I said, you can connect with other professionals in your industry. A great way to do this is to reach out to a competitor, or it doesn't even need to be a competitor, someone who in your industry or your niche who you respect or look up to. Obviously, if they have millions of followers, they're probably going to be harder to get a hold of, but ask them if they want to do a video with you. If you have a ton less subscribers for them, see if you can offer something. Can you offer to film the video? Maybe you'll promote the video. Maybe you'll do all of it for them. Something that you're giving them in exchange for their time, which that usually happens if you're working with someone who has a high follower count. But this is gonna basically give them access to your audience and you access to their audience, and it's one of the quickest ways to grow on social media.
And you're not going to steal audiences. Audiences are free, right? Or it's free to be an audience member of both things. They're not like, oh, I got to spend my money on this person to follow this person. I got to really budget so I can't follow both. It's free to follow someone. They're going to, most likely what's going to happen is they're going to follow you guys both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
it's gains.
Yeah.
We
will be back next Friday with Let's Get Digital. Have an amazing weekend. And remember, start filming content.
Yes.
I'm Megan Ager.
And I'm Corey Turner, and we are Wake and Make Media. Find out more at wakeandmakemedia.com, or check out all of our other episodes by YouTubing Wake and Make Media, or checking us out on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts. Let's get digital.